Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Pattsun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP's wife had an affair with a close family member. Let's begin. Today I fucked up by having sex on my parents' bedroom. Posted by Reddit user Broken Bed.
My wife and I are visiting my childhood home. We are living with our parents. Last night they went out to a party and left us in charge. My wife and I were drinking a lot. We were having some relationship issues too. It led us to argue for days. Even before coming to our hometown, we argued. Yesterday the same thing happened, except we were drunk and were a little too honest. She told me how she never feels attractive because I ignore her. I ignored her because the last time I tried to do something about our intimacy issues, she ignored me. We both messed up in the communication part in our life. So, we were ranting and confessed to each other that we still love each other and wish there was something to spice up our marriage because lately it has been stale. One thing led to another and we started kissing on the couch. We were vigorous. We haven't had sex in 6 months, so all the pent-up emotions and horniness was coming out. Mixing alcohol creates a recipe for disaster. We made this into a challenge. We decided that we would have sex in every room in the house. My parents went to a party with their old friend. I was sure they would not come home before 1 a.m., and it was still early. We were going at it. First it was my childhood bedroom. Then we moved to the guest room, the kitchen, and so on. Lastly, we went to our parents' bedroom. I was a little drunk but still cautious that we were doing it in our parents' bed. Somehow this made both of us even hornier and we were going at it roughly. The bed frame was hitting the wall, but we did not care. Suddenly, I heard a cracking noise. The bed frame was cracked. I got up and panicked. My wife was telling me to calm down because they wouldn't notice. I was still unsure. My parents came home late at night. We cleaned their room just the way it was to avoid suspicion. Later in the morning, my dad complained the bed was broken. He was sleeping and suddenly the bed broke when he was turning. My dad has a huge body, so I can see the bed must have broken due to his body pressure. I haven't told my parents yet. They are still wondering how this bed can break so easily. I lied to my dad and told him the bed frame was very old. It must have become weak over time. He bought it. I do feel guilty because he probably doesn't have enough money now to get a new bed because he fixed his car and AC just recently. TLDR. Had sex on my parents' bed and it broke. My dad thinks it is because the bed frame was old.
OP, you and your wife should definitely take this secret to the grave. Don't tell them the real reason why the bed frame broke. They don't need that kind of trauma in their lives. Anyways, just make sure to get them a brand new bed frame and a new set of sheets. Anyways, be careful next time, man. And one last thing. 6 months without sex? Really? Come on, man. You have to do better than that. If that keeps up, one of you is going to cheat on the other. Good luck. And now for today's second story. My wife of 22 years cheated on me with my brother 17 years ago. Posted by Reddit user Phineas T. Bird Pockets.
Not even sure where to start this story. My wife and I dated all of high school and went to college together. We have literally been each other's everything since we were 14. We were each other's first. We married at 20 and had a kid at 23. We scratched our way up to middle class from literally nothing. It would be an understatement to say that our lives are so intertwined that separating would be catastrophic for both of us. I love this woman with every fiber of my being, which makes this betrayal so much more difficult. Fast forward a few years to 2006, when our daughter is 2 years old. My brother, 5 years older than me, is recently divorced from his wife. He was trying to get back on his feet, so I wanted to help in any way I could. I offered him our spare room for as long as he needed it. We cooked for him, cleaned up behind him, and helped him get his life together. After a few months, I noticed that he and my wife were buddying up a lot more than normal.
By the end of this, you are going to be crying like a little bitch.
I started noticing things that didn't quite sit right. I am sharing a lot of details, but eventually they started texting all the time and talking on the phone when he wasn't at our house. I knew there was something going on, but every time I brought it up, I was made to feel like a jealous idiot. After a while, there was little to no attempt to hide it. I went into a dark spiral of depression. The only thing that kept me going was my daughter. This went on for several months. One day I finally checked my wife's phone and saw that they had been sexting. My world absolutely fell apart. Trying to be the bigger person, I called them both together for a sit-down. They both agreed that nothing had ever been physical. They looked into my eyes and swore to me that the sexting was the extent of the affair. I swallowed my pride and tried to forgive in an effort to keep my family together.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
I would not hesitate to say that this incident broke my brain. I have suffered from severe depression and anxiety as a direct result of this betrayal. Fast forward 17 years to the present day. My wife and I had another child. Our lives are finally becoming comfortable. Life is good. On some idle Wednesday, my wife and I were talking and I caught her in a small lie. After needling her for hours, she finally admitted to kissing, snuggling, and basically dry humping, over the clothes fondling, sending nudes and phone sex. My life seemed to fall apart worse than it did 15 years ago. I called my entire life into question, including the fatherhood of my second daughter. She has his blue eyes. I spoke with my brother and let him know that I had my wife's side of the story, but now I needed his. Based on how they matched up would decide on how drastically I would take this. I used everything in my power to interrogate him for hours. For the most part, their stories lined up. There was a lot of I don't remember from both of them though. I highly doubt that is something easily forgotten. I let him know that we were done and to never contact anyone in my family again. During the interrogation, I caught them in a lie about when the affair ended. They had promised me that the affair had ended back when I caught them the first time 17 years ago. However, through some Sherlock-level observations, I proved that their affair kept going after I caught them. This devastated me. I was so fragile, betrayed and broken, I considered just ending it so many times and she knew this.
Wow, like a bitch.
And that's what Frieza said.
They both did. It kills me to know that I was so close to ending myself and she couldn't keep herself from him. Fast forward a month. After catching my wife in more lies, her entire story unraveled and she admitted to having sex with him while she was at a work conference. She claims that this only happened once and that it was very awkward because he couldn't maintain an erection. She said she faked an orgasm as he finished and then he immediately left. According to her, they never had any more physical contact, and my brother married another woman and has been with her ever since. I may be a fool, but I am confident that the affair ended about 6 months after I caught them the first time. I don't know if I should believe that she has been faithful ever since. So anyways, here I sit. I have been married to this woman that I adored for 22 years. Our entire lives are woven together, so much so that I question if either of us can function without the other. I feel betrayed all over again. My wife is telling me that she lied to me to save our marriage and that I can't hold her responsible for dumb things she did 17 years ago. I am really trying to make peace with this, but I don't have a clue where to go from here. Is it worth ruining my life and decimating my family to teach my wife a lesson about something she did 17 years ago? Am I just being an idiot for believing her? I honestly don't know, but I feel that dark abyss of depression slowly creeping back to the front of my mind. It frankly scares the hell out of me, and I don't know where to go from here. I am trying to maintain some semblance of normality for my youngest daughter. She has 4 years of high school left, so my plan right now is to move into our basement for the next 4 years. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. I don't feel like a man. I have lost all confidence in myself. I just feel like some useless weakling that can't stand up for himself and has been made a fool of time and time again. Please help me, anonymous strangers of Reddit.
Why are you still here?
And now, for OP's short update. Everything went sideways this morning. I caught her in another lie and finally she admitted that they had sex multiple times in Fleabag highway motels while I was away for work, just like so many of you said. So slight change in plans. I have a lawyer. My daughters both know. Her family knows. She is moving to the basement until alternative arrangements can be made. I will be keeping the house. Thank you all for your kind words and support.
OP, don't forget to let your family know as well, including his wife, so everyone will know just how much of a shit stain of a human being he truly is. And what does she mean that you can't hold her responsible for something that she did? That has got to be one of the most idiotic things I have ever heard. She has been lying to you every single day for 17 years straight. That is not someone who is remorseful. She just wants you to move on and forget about the whole affair. She wasn't trying to save the marriage. She just doesn't want to lose her meal ticket. Look, man, I'm glad that you're divorcing her, but I'm afraid that she's already won. Go get your kids DNA tested. Good luck. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.